Hi guys, it's Miss Kirchma again, and I'm going to introduce you to week number 1 of your arts sixth grade remote course. Last week we did a smaller project. This week is kind of a bigger one, and it's going to take us into our first full week of art, which is 60 minutes spent working on art on this project. So let me go ahead and answer some questions that came up last week. Last week, I heard that there was some students were concerned that they could not turn in their artwork, and that's a very valid concern. In the future, when you guys have access to the Canvas, my Canvas course, which should be happening very, very soon, that's something that's happening at the district level, and I have no control over it. So when that happens, when I get you embedded into my course, then you guys can have access to Padlet, which is a way for you to screenshot what you've been working on and turning it into a gallery type setting for you on my Canvas course. But for now, I'm just going to have you hold on to your physical artwork. You can show your teacher. I did get a class that showed me, they held up their pictures and the teacher took a screenshot, and that was so great. And I was able to see that you guys were working hard on it. That's so awesome. I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing that for me. It was great to see those pictures. But for now, everyone else, just hold on to it and keep it safe, and then we can upload it once you guys have access to my Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of this full screen mode and start screen sharing with you because I'm in student mode. Sorry, my bad. I'm on my dashboard. This is what you would be looking at originally when you're trying to access the art. Oh, that's sixth grade. Well, it's the same thing, but different assignments. Okay, so my bad. Navigation issue here. So I'm going to scroll down until I get to sixth grade remote art here, where I'm going to click on it. And I have your course here. I'm in teacher mode right now, so I'm going to switch it to the student mode so you guys can better see what your end of Canvas is going to look like. Right now, I've added some announcements so you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing each week. Week 1 was for it was only half a week, so it was 0.5. Week 1 is this week, and we have another assignment that we'll be working on. Also, when you are working on assignments, I think I led you last week to the assignment button, which is right here. It's right next to the Meet Your Teacher. You can access your assignment there, follow the clicks, the button clicks to where you need to find your assignment, or now it's going to appear in your to-do list. So you can go to week 1 assignment. Week 0.5 was last week's assignment. Click on the link. It is linked to your actual assignment, and you will see this for this week's assignment, which is going to be a Cubism portrait. So I've got a video of, let's see, Pablo Picasso, for Pablo Picasso, not of Pablo Picasso, and it's gonna kind of describe his movement through art cubism or the cubism movement. He was kind of one of the first people to get it started. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and the sound is coming from my phone because I can't record myself and the computer audio at the same time with the program that I'm using. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to press play at the same time so you can hear both, so you can see the video and hear it. All right, here we go.
Where does genius come from? Pablo Picasso's journey to genius began with a puff of his own Salvador cigar, so claims the man himself. It's possible this puff ignited what some historians call the rage to master, a voracious dedication to push the boundaries of one's craft. This obsessive personality led Picasso down a lifelong path of bucking established traditions.
I am not in favor of following any determined school, because that only brings about similarity among adherents.
When Picasso moved to Paris at the age of 22, he fell in with like-minded bohemians like Gertrude Stein and Henri Matisse. From this creative cauldron emerged perhaps Picasso's most famous contribution to art history, a radical style called Cubism. With displaced noses and mouths and characteristic irregular forms, Cubism nicely encapsulated Picasso's aesthetic worldview.
A picture used to be a sum of additions. With me, A picture is a sum of destructions.
So it was throughout his career. Picasso constantly reinvented his style at a rapid pace. He created thousands of innovative sculptures, drawings, etchings, ceramics, and paintings. Neuroscientists have discovered that imagery like Picasso's invites viewers into the creative process with the artist. We relish taking incomplete clues and filling in the missing details. Picasso had an instinct for this dynamic long before science corroborated it.
The picture lives only through the man who is looking at it.
All right, guys. So that is your video on Picasso and the Cubism movement and how he was a part of that. Today, I'm going to need you to have one sheet of blank construction paper. I have a yellow sheet. You can use whichever color you would prefer. And if you only have white paper, that is a-okay with me. Second, I'm going to have you grab a half sheet of construction paper or a half sheet of paper. You can fold your construction paper in half, a different piece, and then cut it on that line. And then now we're going to go ahead and fold this twice so it can create 4 little boxes here. Now that's our first step, and I jumped ahead of myself, and I'm sorry for that. We are also going to need a pair of scissors, pencil and eraser, crayons, markers. If you just have one of those, that's fine. A black crayon or marker for outlines, up to you. I also, with one of mine, I actually had a blue crayon available, so I just used a blue crayon and that worked just fine. So the first thing, as I got into when we were going through supplies, is you're going to take that half sheet of paper, you're going to fold it once horizontally and fold it again vertically. So this, I actually did that backwards. So fold it once vertically, then fold it again horizontally. Make sure you crease. Now what's going to happen is 4 lines are going to show up and you're going to go ahead and cut those out. So that way you have 4 different smaller rectangle boxes, which you can see from the picture. And then I also have the example here of 4 different separate boxes there. Next, you are going to use a crayon, pencil, or marker if you're confident. If you're not so confident in your abilities, go ahead and use a pencil and draw light till it's right. And then you can go over that with a crayon or a Sharpie that won't come off. So we're going to create a profile eye. We are going to create a looking straight on eye. We're going to create a nose that's either straight on or profile, which this is profile. I'm sorry, I should have said that with the eye. You also are going to create a mouth, and I would just go ahead. I want you guys to practice making a straight on mouth just because it'll bring the piece together more. So I went ahead and I started those. I took up a lot of the space on each of these cards. So I want you to take a guess at which mode this is. This would be the straight on eye here. And then we've got a straight on mouth here. We've got a nose. Now I went with the profile nose and it's definitely stylized. This is not a realistic looking nose, but here's a big arch here and then it curves around and then here's the little layers on the side of the nose. Here would be the eye, that's a profile eye, so it's looking sideways here. And I apologize for the beeping. There's a timer going off in the background and I'm not gonna go turn it off, so my bad. So these 4 pieces of paper you're gonna hold on to because we're actually gonna add more color to them and we're gonna actually add some patterns and designs to these so that way they're more interesting to look at. All right, but not yet, not yet. The next step is I'm going to scroll down some more. Oh, I hope I did mention that these need to make sure you fill up the whole space of the card that you cut out because it's important. They're supposed to be large features of your face, facial features. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take those pieces and we're going to assemble them and glue them to our actual construction paper. The construction paper is going to, it can run, I'm okay with you having it run vertically or horizontally. That's the, that would be the, oh my gosh, the landscape orientation or portrait orientation. Okay, so you decide on how you want that orientation to be. You're going to glue the eyes toward the top of the page, you're going to glue the nose toward the middle of the page, and then you're going to glue the mouth toward the bottom of the page. Now you can skew them so they're off, because that's the thing about Cubism. You were looking at a two-dimensional picture, but you also got this three-dimensional feel from it when you were looking at it, because they were going features were going in all different directions that weren't quite the normal direction that you would look at when looking at a normal two-dimensional portrait. Okay, so get those placed, glue them on with a glue bottle. I've got glue all here that I like to use. It's dot dot, not a lot. Or if you have a glue stick, I like to use a lot of that glue stick, because usually the school glue is it after time it'll pop off of there. So just make sure you use a lot, so hopefully it'll get it to stick longer for you. All right, so you get those glued on and placed on your sheet of construction paper. You then have a good solid skeleton for your Cubism project portrait. Now is the fun part, or at least the fun part for me. Now you get to add color. I just have a picture of crayons on there for you, but you can use really whatever you have accessible. So color pencils, if you want to paint, go ahead. If you have markers, use your markers, gel pens, whatever you would like that will show up on this construction paper or the paper that you have available to you, use it. I'm all for it. Now, here's the thing. I want you to take a look at that eye that is straight on. It's the green eye. You look at the background of that eye. Now, the eye didn't reach the edges of the paper, but in the background, you see pink polka dots, and then you see large areas colored in. I want that happening with your small cards that we created. I want there to be color inside of the eye. You can leave the eye white, the whites of the eyes white. That's totally fine. But in the back, we're not just going to color a skin tone. We want to add pattern and design. So that way it makes our project more rich, and it gives us more things to look at and more interesting to look at. Okay, so I've got some patterns located on under those crayons, that black and white different patterns, so you can choose whatever colors you would like. And then I've also got an area where you can see the picture of different colors happening here with the patterns and designs. Okay, so when that is complete and you've got color behind each of those, the two eyes, the nose, and the mouth on the white sheets, now you get to go in and add details to create the head. So you can use a normal, like a, I don't know, a curved chin. You could use a square chin. You can have a heart-shaped face, whatever you would like to do to create a face that these facial features rest in. And then you're also going to go ahead and fill large areas of that blank paper with pattern and design. So as long as you're playing with those different techniques between pattern, design, coloring in some places, leaving the paper exposed in other places, you'll be doing a great job and exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, now we are in 6th grade, so I know you guys have had some exposure to shading. If you feel confident in your ability, guys, go ahead, throw a shadow on there. I would love to see which side of the nose is lit up by light. That would be great. If you want to, if somebody, like for me, for instance, you know, it's been a start to the year, so I'm tired. Like maybe you got some shadow under your eyes. Definitely my lip down here. I've got my lip hangs over my chin, so I've got a shadow that's happening right here. Okay, feel free to add in shadow if you would like. Now you don't have to scribble, but you could add just a little light dusting of crayon if you wanted to. Okay, so these things in closing need to be full of color, pattern, design. They should look a little weird. It's okay for them to look weird. I'm okay with that. You also will not be able to upload these at this point right now. We'll do a big upload when we get up to Canvas, okay? So in the future, this is where you would upload, not happen then today. All right, so I apologize for that. But you will hold on to it so that way I can see it in the future, all right? You did the project great. I'm proud of you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me, because I would love to answer them. Bye.